English Boost Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Boost Podcast. I'm Emma, and today we have a really interesting topic to discuss.
And I'm James. Hi, Emma. Yes, today we're comparing two very different ways of living. Life in the city and life in the village. This is a topic that many people have strong opinions about.
That's right. Some people love the excitement and energy of big cities, while others prefer the peace and quiet of the countryside. There are advantages and disadvantages to both lifestyles.
Today we'll explore both sides. Emma, you live in a city, right? And I grew up in a small village, so we have different perspectives to share. We'll talk about things like jobs, transport, nature, and community.
By the end of this episode, you'll have lots of vocabulary to describe different places and lifestyles. And maybe you'll think about which type of life suits you best.
Hi everyone, I'm Olivia. I find this topic fascinating because there's no right or wrong answer. Let's explore city and village life together.
Emma, you've lived in London for several years now. What do you love about city life?
There are so many things I love about living in a city. First of all, there are endless opportunities for work. London has thousands of companies in every industry. You can imagine. When I was looking for a job in marketing, I had so many options to choose from. In a small town, there might only be a few companies, and they might not be hiring.
That's a good point. What about entertainment and things to do?
That's another big advantage. In a city, you're never bored. There are cinemas, theaters, museums, art galleries, concerts, and festivals happening all the time. If I want to see a new film, there are 10 cinemas within 30 minutes of my flat. There are hundreds of restaurants serving food from every country in the world. Whatever you're interested in, you can find it in a city.
What about practical things like shopping and services?
Everything is so convenient in a city. Shops are open late, sometimes 24 hours. If I need something at midnight, I can probably find a shop that's open. There are also more services available, like doctors, dentists, gyms, and libraries. Public transport is excellent too. I don't need a car, because I can take the bus or the underground anywhere I want to go.
Are there any disadvantages to city life?
Of course. City life isn't perfect. The biggest problem is the cost. Rent in London is incredibly expensive. My small flat costs more than a large house would cost in the countryside. Everything is more expensive, from coffee to cinema tickets. Another problem is the crowds and noise. The streets are always busy, and it can be stressful. Sometimes I feel like I can never escape the noise of traffic and people.
What about pollution and green spaces?
Yes, pollution is definitely a concern. The air quality in cities isn't great, especially near busy roads. There are parks in London, which I love, but they're always crowded on sunny days. Sometimes I miss being surrounded by nature. In the city, you have to make an effort to find green spaces, whereas in the countryside, nature is all around you. Now, James, you grew up in a village. Tell us what you loved about it.
Growing up in a village was wonderful. The best thing was definitely the peace and quiet. There was no traffic noise, no sirens, no crowds. I could hear birds singing in the morning and see the stars clearly at night. The pace of life was much slower and more relaxed.
What about the community? I've heard village communities are very close.
Absolutely. In my village, everyone knew everyone. We knew our neighbors well, and people looked out for each other. If someone was sick, neighbors would bring food. If someone needed help, people would offer. There was a real sense of belonging and community that's hard to find in a big city.
What about nature and outdoor activities?
That's another huge advantage. I grew up surrounded by beautiful countryside. I could walk out of my front door and be in fields and forests within minutes. I spent my childhood playing outside, climbing trees, and exploring nature. The air was clean and fresh, and there was space to breathe. On weekends, my family would go hiking or have picnics by the river.
It sounds idyllic. Were there any disadvantages?
Yes, there were challenges too. The biggest problem was the lack of opportunities. There weren't many jobs in the village, so most adults had to commute to the nearest town for work. My father drove 45 minutes each way, every day. For young people, there wasn't much to do. There was no cinema, no shopping center, just one small pub. And
What about services and transport?
That was difficult. We only had one small shop and one doctor's surgery.
For anything else, we had to drive to the town. Public transport was almost non-existent. There was one bus that came twice a day, which wasn't very useful. You really needed a car to live there, which was expensive and not great for the environment.
Would you ever move back to a village?
I think about it sometimes, especially now that I have a family. The idea of raising my children in nature, with more space, and a strong community, is very appealing, but I would miss the convenience of the city. Maybe the ideal solution is to live in a small town that has the benefits of both worlds.
Great discussion. Now let me explain some important vocabulary about places to live. First, urban. Urban means related to cities and towns. Urban areas have lots of buildings, people, and businesses. Emma lives in an urban environment. The opposite is rural. Rural means related to the countryside. Rural areas have farms, villages, and lots of open space. James grew up in a rural area. Rural life is usually quieter and slower. Commute means to travel regularly between your home and your workplace. Many people who live in villages commute to cities for work. James's father had a long commute every day. Peaceful means calm and quiet, without noise or stress. Village life is often described as peaceful. A peaceful place helps you relax and feel calm. Convenient means easy to use or access. City life is convenient because everything you need is nearby. Shops, transport, and services are all convenient in urban areas. Finally, community. A community is a group of people who live in the same area and support each other. Villages often have strong communities where everyone knows each other. Those are your vocabulary words. Back to Emma and James.
Thank you, Olivia. Now everyone can talk about different lifestyles in English.
Let's review urban, rural, commute, peaceful, convenient, and community. Think about which words describe where you live.
We'd love to know, do you prefer city life or village life? Where do you live now and are you happy there? Tell us in the comments.
This is the final episode of our A2 series for now, but you can find more A2 level podcasts from our YouTube channel. We hope you've enjoyed learning with us and feel more confident speaking English now.
Thank you for watching English Boost Podcast. We have more exciting content coming soon.
Please like this video and subscribe for more English lessons.
See you in the next series. Bye-bye, everyone.
Goodbye. Take care.
Goodbye. Wherever you live, be happy.